Hi everybody. I'm so sorry to say that today's video obviously is not going to be a makeup tutorial like I normally do for Wicked Wednesday. Unfortunately, I'm sure all of you know that Robin Williams had passed away on August 11th. Coroner's report is that it was of apparent suicide. Now, because of this, the nation has gone out on this worldwide kick of anti-suicide. And while it is good, I feel that the whole depression sense and everything about depression circling suicide and suicide actions or behavior has gone way off course. Way off course. As a person who has been going through depression for a very long time, I can tell you 9 times out of 10, the videos that I have seen regarding depression have been complete and utter BS. For this video coming from somebody, myself, I suffer with depression. I suffer with suicidal thoughts and attempts. I have had more attempts than I care to admit. I am still struggling with being a recovering self-harmer, and I feel that it is important for the subject of depression to come from somebody who has and still is suffering with depression. So to get into the subject of this video, we're going to go into categories that I've heard on the web that drive me absolutely nuts. To categorize depression as a disease or as a sickness doesn't help people who are going through it, because then now they feel that there's really something truly wrong with them. Being depressed is nothing to be ashamed of, and it is nothing wrong. It is a normal emotion that we all go through. More people have depression than there should be, but more than you think. That speaks volumes. So therefore, it's not a sickness. It's not a disease. Not for everybody. So categorizing maybe a small percentage of people that do have depression as a disease, that is a chemical imbalance within their body that has to be fixed with pills, those people should not be accounted for everybody else that does suffer with depression. I know for myself, my depression is not a sickness. It is not a disease, because what I've gone through is something of other people's actions being forced onto me. That is what made me depressed. Them isolating me and making me feel like I'm this horrible, horrible person. That is my depression. Telling people that do have depression, especially extreme depression, with suicidal attempts, thoughts, maybe even cutting themselves or harming themselves in any sort of way, telling them that they have a sickness doesn't make it any better. And for you to sit there and say, you're sick, you need help, makes you the bad guy, not them. I have a lot of friends who constantly want me to go to them when I'm feeling depressed. And I know a lot of people out there have this same problem that I do. I know my friends and the family that does care about me, I know they mean well. But the problem that I know I have, along with other people that suffer with depression, is the pity. We don't want people's pity. That's not why we're depressed, that we're not getting a spotlight, that we're not getting attention. It's simply from the fact that things happen in our lives, whether we are in control of it or not, cause us to be upset about it and can eventually haunt us to where we have a reoccurring depression. Now, whether that be from bullying or from something that happened in the family, whether it be a tragedy, a death, or a near-death experience, or something, whatever to that effect, it can haunt somebody for the rest of their lives. When people come up to me and tell me, Sarah, you're depressed? Why didn't you tell me? Oh, talk to me. Come tell me. What's wrong? Tell me. I'm here for you. That doesn't help me, because that makes me feel this big. And I know other people feel this way as well. It makes you feel like you're a toddler that can't be left alone. It's a feeling that can make depression that much worse because now you feel this big. And everybody around you treats you that you're this big and that you're made out of glass. And you have to be cared for and watched over and very gently touched and spoken to. And it makes you feel like a burden onto other people and that nobody wants to hear your self-pity stories or that you're going through another hard time because that's how they treat you. Like you have to be cared for. You have to be watched over 24/7 because we don't know what's going to happen to you if we look away. That doesn't help. It makes us worse. It makes those demons that much louder. It makes those demons tell us, you're now burdening these people with making them watch you all the time. Wouldn't it be better if you just off yourself so that way they can go back to their lives? This is something I've had a problem with actually my mother. I was going through a really hard time very recently. As you guys know, I stopped making my videos for about a week or so. I think it was about 2 weeks. She kept asking me, what's wrong? What's wrong? Let me help you. I'm here to help you. Talk to me. Let me help you. And again, it comes to that whole feeling this big feeling. Sometimes you only want to go to specific people for that help because they don't make you feel that big. They make you feel the same size and they make you feel welcome and that you're normal and there's nothing wrong with you. There are people out there that are so far deep down in their own isolated hole where they feel so comfortable in. They don't want help and you can't help them because they don't want it. You can throw as many ropes down that hole. You could throw a ladder. You could throw everything down there. Doesn't mean they're going to take it. And you can't make them take it. You can't take a gun to their head and say, take the damn ladder, climb up it, we want you out of this hole. It doesn't work that way. Some people are just so comfortable in their own isolated shell, no one can break it but themselves. But because of that, it leads on to my next subject. Everybody that I've seen on YouTube, on media channels, they always post, if you or someone you know it has suicidal thoughts or actions, please contact this suicide hotline number and seek help. Suicide is not the answer. While to you, suicide may not be the answer, to them, that's all they think about. That is all that's in their world. And the whole, if someone you know is thinking of suicide, that alone is a joke. That sentence should never be said because somebody who is thinking about suicide in a serious way will never speak up about it. And that's what makes it scary. It goes back into that whole shell pit discussion. If somebody doesn't want help, you can't make them pick up that phone and dial that number. You can't tell them, help is out there, seek it. You can't. It is completely up to them. You can give them all the resources in the world. It doesn't mean that they'll take it. And if they do take their own lives instead, you are then left with survivor's guilt. That they still took their life even though you offered all this help to them. You can't push papers or phone numbers or things in front of somebody who is going through a suicidal depression. What you can do is go up to them and say, if you want to talk, I am all ears. Let me go get the duct tape. I'll tape my mouth shut so that way you know I am all ears. Be their soundboard. Have no judgment in anything that they say. The best thing you can do for them is to be their soundboard, is to listen to them. And then at the very end, say, hey, if you're open to it, I'm willing to help you. I'm willing to do what I can to help you. Don't talk in a pity way. Don't say, oh, you poor thing. Oh, I had no idea you were going through all this. Oh, you poor thing. Let me help you. Why won't you let me help you? That does no good. That makes them want to hide and run and never come back. You just have to very calmly, very soundly, very logically just sit there and say, hey, If you want it, I'm here. It may not be a lot, but it's what I have to offer, and it's the best I have to offer. But I can't help you unless you want it. That then gives them the power to decide. And when they know that they have that power, that ability to sit there and say, I can choose if I want this help or not, you are more than likely able to actually help them then. Give them that power. Give them that ability to say when they want that help. Because if you force it on them, they just run. Now, to those of you who are suffering from extreme depression, where you are thinking about suicide, I'm not going to do that spiel of, here's a suicide hotline, please call. That's not helping. What I can tell you is you can help yourself. No one but you can make yourself grab that rope and get out of that hole. No one but you can pick up that phone and dial that number if you want. If you don't want to, then maybe you're not ready. And it's okay to not be ready to accept that help. But what's not okay is thinking that it's the only way. Because I know sometimes the world just sucks. And sometimes it really feels like the only answer to escape from all the pain, all the sadness, all of the craziness of other people attacking you is to take your own life so you can escape it all. But it's not. And you know it's not. We lost a legend this week, way before his time. My heart, prayers, and thoughts go out to his family. I can't imagine what they must be going through. I only hope that they can find the light in this dark time. The world is now a darker, less funny place without him. I know people of my generation surely will never forget about him, and even teach our kids about the funniness that is Robin Williams. The one beautiful thing that I found every person who's ever met him has described him as is the most heartwarming and gentle person. If you know anybody who has before in the past suffered with depression, always make sure to check up on them. Because you never know what could be going on in their life that they're not talking about. If you're going through depression, going through self-harm, or any suicidal attempts, and you want the help, but don't have anybody around to give that to you, I will provide the phone numbers and links even down below to all the suicide help. Even just talk lines, I'll provide those down below. There's actually 2 quotes that I really want to leave you guys with today. The first one is one that we all know. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And I've known that to be very true. Another one of my all-time favorite quotes is a Zen quote. And it is, anger is like swallowing poison and expecting the other person to die. It's all food for thought. It's all open opinions. I'm just leaving you with mine, because I am somebody who suffers with depression. As I always say, yin-yang is a balance, and the balance lies within yourself. I find that quote to be very true for today. In the comments down below, what's your favorite Robin Williams movie or character? Mine was Batty Coda from Fern Gully. I love you all so much. I'll see you again soon.